we take them to local cars and coffees and car shows and charity events because, I mean, some people have never seen an F40, a Ferrari F40 out in public or an F50 or them together with the same, by the same people, you know? It's so cool to see. I mean, we have the Sultan of Brunei Ferraris. There's people that come from all over the world just to see those two cars.
Wow.
It's wild to me. You know, I get people from everywhere.
Guys, welcome to High Octane Hustle. I'm Fast Lane Jane.
And I'm Design Muse. And we have an amazing guest. We are here at a new location.
Yes, we're so excited. Guys, we're here at the Marconi Automotive Museum. And we have...
Monique Marconi.
Yes! Oh my gosh.
Perfect way to start this out.
And would you kindly look at what's going on behind us?
Oh, yes. We're in the restoration shop right now, to be clear, right?
Yes,
That's great spot.
Yeah, it's where we work on all of our cars in-house.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I just got chills when I walked in here, you guys. So this is open to the public, so you want to check this out.
Marconi Museum in Tustin. Yep.
Yeah.
Local, and they do events too.
Oh, yeah. We're an event venue as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I just tapped my finger on there. And I'm like, I broke the first rule. No tapping.
Yeah. We're an event venue, a nonprofit for kids, and then an automotive museum. So we're kind of a 3-in-1.
I love that.
And what is your title?
I am the CEO.
Yes.
I'm
Can
the
we
third
bang on the
generation.
table now?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Getting excited. I'm the third generation Marconi to run the facility.
Wow,
So it's a lot
that's
of fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
I
we
love
got
that.
a chance to have a sneak peek into the area where you're hosting an event with that gorgeous chandelier. I mean, you guys, you have no idea. We're going to make sure that we share some video and some pictures of that
It's
because
beautiful.
This is jaw-dropping. And this is just part of it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at a Budweiser dragster right now across from me.
So many. I mean, all things motorsports, automotive. The tractor right behind me. I'm all about that there too. But just coming in this space, it's beautiful and like what a great place to have. I love that you guys have events here because this is spaces that I want to be in too.
Right?
Yeah,
Totally. It gives people, I mean, whether they're into cars or not into cars, it's still a unique space to have your event, whether it's like a wedding, which we do, but also like fundraisers. It kind of gets the husbands out and opens up the wallets so that people can, bid and give back to charity and stuff. So it's a win-win for everybody.
I love that. And you said this is 3 generations, right?
Yes.
So have you guys always done events too? Did it start out like that, or where did that kind of
Actually, yeah. So this originally started, it was a collection between my dad and my grandfather. They just bought this building to house the race team when my dad was racing cars all over the country full time, and to house their private collection. And then it just kind of kept growing and getting out of control. And, their personal business was taking off nutritional manufacturing. And so they had to retire from racing. It was just taking up too much time. They couldn't do both. And so it stayed dormant here for about 4 years, and they're like, okay, well, what are we doing with it? What can we do with it? So they kind of right off the bat, like automotive museum, they donated the building and the entire collection to start our nonprofit, the Marconi Foundation for Kids.
Love it.
And then realized quickly that, you have to do events in order to raise money because museums really don't make money. Not in a grand scale.
Yeah.
And to be able to keep the doors open, lights on, but also to donate to charity. So it's it all works in harmony with each other, which is cool.
Talk more about the charity. I want to know more. And I know our audience does too.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Marconi Foundation for Kids, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and net proceeds from everything that we do here goes directly to children's charities in Orange County. So we've partnered with hundreds over the last 30 years. This year is celebrating 30 years.
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
So it's amazing. And it's such a privilege to get to use our cars as a tool to generate money for charity. It's a win for everybody. So we do car events. You guys were present and helped me put on Heels and you've been here for Heels and Wheels, but also when we did Women's Motor Fest briefly.
Yeah.
So we tried to bring the community in and everybody. We want all of the people, not just people that can afford to have an event here. We want the entire community.
Yeah.
And so it allows everybody to come together. So we host like a really big toy drive every year. So the Marconi Magic Toy Drive is our giant toy drive. And so we raised $60,000 last year and hopefully $100 this year.
I love it.
And
Just keep raising the stakes.
Yes, absolutely. And when's that toy? That's coming up,
Yes,
right?
it is November 17th from 9 to 2. So it's like half cars and coffee, half toy drive. So we have, we go shopping at Walmart down the way, and we fill the race trailer, and it's like exploding, like bursting at the seams. People come in and bring toys. And it's a really like family oriented event. And then we go play Santa for a month leading up to Christmas to all the beneficiaries, so pieces like Mary's Path and Orange County Rescue Mission, and a lot of the highway patrol and a lot of police departments and stuff, because they host all their family events too. So it's really cool. It's really cool to bring the community together and get to, everything's interwoven, and it's a very tight knit in Orange County. So it's fun.
Yeah, and it ultimately affects a change for not just those kids, but for you as well.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
So can you share with us more about like why kids? Like where did that kind of start for you guys, and what, why is that so near and dear to your heart,
It really started with my grandpa. My grandpa said that children are 100% of our future. He's like, if you're going to make a difference, then it needs to start at the bottom, like at the beginning, to make change or preventing things, it's just like generational trauma and things like that. So that's why we always work with organizations that are doing that, helping children. So Mary's Path is one that we absolutely love, and they're in Santa Ana. And all they do is, they help women, young ladies from 12 to 22 that are pregnant or have a child and don't have anywhere to go. And they offer them, shelter and housing and amenities and mental health services. And it's a lot of amazing things. And it's like, there's so much poverty just in Orange County. It's a very expensive area, and it's all around us. But I feel like some people just don't see it.
I don't think that many people wrap their head around Orange County. How could they have homelessness or
they
poverty,
see adults, but they don't think about how much it affects the children, because those adults probably had kids and now they're in the system, or they're in some kind of like Orangewood. They do amazing things. So we really try to focus on those charities that are helping prevent and help kind of set the tone for the future.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, it's happening in every city.
Yeah,
it's just we don't know that it's even there until people like you or others raise awareness to that. So it's a great way, I think, to start, like you said, the foundational part of that. Like that's. No, there couldn't be anything better. Is there a way you guys give toys and you give funds and stuff? Do you guys do anything like with the kids too?
We do sometimes, but a lot of the organizations we work with, privacy is it's very sensitive, and so some of them have been like a lot of like Mary's Path. A lot of the young girls have been trafficked and things like that, so we don't get to work directly with them. But there are opportunities too. So Beyond Blindness is another one we absolutely love. We love them. All they do, they help children and adults from like infancy to adulthood with visual impairment and other disabilities. So we've held a lot of their galas here, and they offer like volunteer opportunities.
Yeah.
I've gotten to tour the facility before, so there's a lot of really great things. And we've done a family event here. So they want to do an event with even all of the brothers and sisters too, so the whole family could come, and it wasn't just for that sibling that had,
because that impacts the entire family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we did. I had a table filled with like car parts and stuff, and so we had coming in. So some kids that don't have any visual impairment, they just want to know what they're looking at. But other ones, it's like, okay, what am I looking at? How many are there? And you're helping them feel like spark plugs and things like that. And it was just really cool to do. And then we also got white cotton gloves, and we put a lot of wax on one of the little Dinos in there,
to feel
and
the
so
car.
they could feel the car,
because
sometimes the only thing that they know is the clicking of a seatbelt is a car to them.
And then just the
hearing,
sound.
And so you don't get to feel headlights and bumpers and like all these cool things that you would never, especially people aren't, going fondling cars. So
we saw your dad's sign.
Normally you don't allow things like that. This is not a thing you do.
Yeah, so we were able to do that. It's a very low to the ground car with a lot of swoopy curves.
I love that.
So
I love the white cotton gloves.
I do
That's so
too.
great. What a
cool.
great idea.
Yeah.
So
neat.
it's such a variety of help that we can. I mean, even if we're just donating money, it's still. I know it's going to such a killer cause,
Worthwhile.
and so it's super cool.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. So how does it feel to be the CEO of this amazing place?
It's a privilege. It's every day is a privilege. I walk in here and I'm like, man, I have a reason to come in, and it's, oh my gosh, I'm going to get emotional already. We told you we're not going to cry.
We didn't say not. We told you.
I didn't want to. But it's so cool because everywhere I look is like history, and a lot of most of it's my family's history. And so there's stuff all the time where people will meet and it'll spark a story that I've never heard before, with my dad and stuff. And to be able to work so closely with family is it's a dream. I mean, obviously it's a blessing and a curse, mostly a curse. But with working with my dad,
we'll
is
get
really
into
fun.
that too.
We'll get into that, But my older brother is our in-house mechanic. He works on everything here. He's absolutely amazing, and he is so humble and mellow. And as you've met and you guys know him. But Vince he's been handing tools to my dad since he was in diapers. And so my dad really got to, he was like immersed in that, and that was something that he was really into. And I wasn't. I wish I had been and paid attention when I was 16 and they were trying to teach me things, but I did not. But Vince has been on 5 magazine covers before the age of 21 doing restorations on muscle cars and Mopars and stuff, but he's the humblest, quietest guy you've ever met. And he's extraordinary, and he works on all of our Ferraris. He's kind of a genius. He doesn't like when I brag about him, so I do it when he's not in the room. Now it's on camera. So
we'll make sure that we get photos of the covers of the magazines.
Yes, I got some of those.
And we'll make sure we send directly to him a link to.
He's gonna love that. Love that.
Yes.
Oh man, but getting to be the third generation, I never thought that it would be a possibility or that I would ever going to have the opportunity, and it just kind of presented itself. COVID kind of posed a lot of difficulties.
Well, I was going to say, you had a little bit of a different direction, right?
Yes, definitely.
So, I mean,
it was all events. And so all of a sudden when that's done and you can't have them anymore, it's like, that's your income.
Yeah.
So we had to really pivot. And so the opportunity came and I stepped up to the role and I said, absolutely, there's nothing I'd want to do more than this. So it's cool to be able to, it's not boring. Let's put it that way.
I love that. But what did you go to school for?
Because
it wasn't in the path or direction that you thought that you were going.
No, it wasn't. I started, I went to school. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I went to Chapman University, and then I minored in entrepreneurship because my dad has always been an entrepreneur, and he and I, that was kind of my first major job was taking over a bicycle shop in Costa Mesa, The Cyclist. And, I didn't really know anything about bicycles, and my dad and his business partner turned companies around. And so he had called me, his business partner was like, hey, we got a bicycle shop. Like, we need a girl. We need someone to soften the image and soften the thing. And so it's not so intimidating when people come in. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really know anything about bicycles, but I know wheels and a motor. So
cool.
I'll just teach me. So I started that. And then about a year in, he brought my dad on and was like, hey, we got to get this to where it needs to be. Because that's what my dad does that's his specialty is turning companies around. So
love that.
So he came in and completely turned it upside down. And he and I did that together and built that brand. And it was a lot of fun. I worked there for 6 years and helped manage it and stuff. And that is where I got the real immersive. I realized that all companies and businesses are the same. They run. It's all the same stuff. Whether it's a
formula,
product,
right?
So he taught me everything that he could during that time, and so I was able to transition into here. And especially, there's no one more passionate about your family than you.
Of course.
So,
right. So it doesn't matter how long the hours are, what we're doing. it's awesome. I love it every day. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
I love that. And you're still kind of really close with your dad and working with your dad before we got on.
Yes. It's constant.
In the studio. There was brainstorming over at the benches.
Always.
But I love that.
Yeah.
I know that that's really important to you, and that family connection is, do you think it's like an Italian thing?
I like to think it is. My dad is. Yeah, I think we'll chalk it up to an Italian thing.
Okay.
But yeah, we're very, I think because like he was close with his family, but I think every generation things change and you want more and more with your family and your generation.
Agreed.
You want to break cycles, you want to do things. So I think for him, it's like he always wanted that really close, tight-knit family, and that's what he's given to us. No matter how hard he worked, he was always there, always present, taking us to the go-kart track, taking us out to the desert to ride dirt bikes. I mean, we got to do everything with him. And so
that's amazing.
And then, my mom she's a saint, so she's put up with that and us for a long time. So she's so, my dad's kind of in the thick of things, like all things businesses and stuff. My little brother runs the bike shop. And so, but hopefully one day I'll get to have him here so we can all be together under one roof. But it was it took me a long time to appreciate that as much as I do now, because there's people that move and you move across the country and you don't get to see your family.
Yeah.
That's just the norm. And that seems so strange to me.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And you're very close with your sister and family.
Yeah.
That could you imagine being across the country? I mean, for a visit, fine, but I want to stay connected.
Yeah. I don't know if I could just pick it up and, move out of state and just not have that kind of constant. It's all the time. I mean, he makes me nuts. We make each other nuts, but it's but it's also beautiful. It's also good. It's healthy. Yeah.
Beautiful chaos.
Beautiful chaos. Yes. Yeah. But he's taught me everything I know about business and everything. I mean, because I've gotten to firsthand witness it and have real experience, rather than reading it in a book.
Well, it's kind of like the iron sharpens iron, right? And so it's because typically when you're butting heads with other people like that, it's because you guys are both so passionate about something. So it's like, that where you're coming from is a good place and the other person knows that too. And you're kind of like, okay, where are we going to give? Who's going to give? 100%. Or are we not,
And I'm so much like him that happens sometimes. Or I'm talking in my generation speak and he's talking in his, and we're both trying to say the same thing, but it's
that makes a lot of sense.
I have to reword it and rework it. And I'm like, oh, we're on the same side.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to think that anytime anybody like an entrepreneur or CEO, they're going to butt heads with people, right? And I kind of think that maybe Dad's sitting in the background going, yeah, girl.
He totally is.
Yeah.
He totally is.
You get it. Go ahead. Yeah. Give me your best.
Yeah. Every time I talk about
and it's
stuff.
more learning.
Yes.
He's witnessing
happy.
You growing and learning and
he loves
more
it.
things.
Especially when it's a tricky situation or something I've never actually had to do before. And it just comes with the territory. And I'll be talking and unloading about something. And he just sitting back, smiling,
because he
laughing.
knows.
At me because it's like, well, he's like, I'm just so proud of you. That you're finally, I'm listening to myself.
Sure.
Sure. So it's
Yeah. And then on top of that, having the degree in psychology.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I'd be analyzing everybody else and now I'm going to do it to myself.
Right. To take my own advice. Yeah.
Yes.
It has helped me understand how to work better with him and with family and and just the dynamic of people. Cause at the end of the day, we're all people. So having this psych background is very beneficial for business.
Yeah.
For sure.
And just the culture of family in general, I think. I mean, when you bring, I think, that into a business, it's different. Yes. It's like when you treat a business like it's family, everyone matters. Mm-hmm. They're an integral part. It's all about the people.
Yes. Yeah.
It really is. That's what makes a successful business is the people that are running it with you, right?
For sure. Yeah. And I think that's been a change. My dad is, again, more old school. And so for him, it's I want it done yesterday.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm really about my employees. I want, because I have family here and somebody that's not our family member coming in and trying to, I don't want them to feel like they're not part of our family, So when you work here, I want you to want to be here.
Right.
I take care of our employees because I want them to feel just as comfortable as I do. And I want everybody to, be a very cohesive work environment.
Yeah, it's all about company culture, right? We hear a lot of that. creating a culture.
But then the background of like where your dad's coming from, because my dad's the same generation. It's like the boot camp. Like, this is how you do it.
Right.
Like,
you're replaceable. If you can't do it, then I'll find somebody else that'll do it. That's 100%. And that's what he's told me since I was a kid. He's like, you are replaceable. And I'm going to tell you that now. It's my dad always told me that. And whether that's me with you or you with another employee, like you may have to hire a couple more people until you transition, but everybody's replaceable. So don't forget that. Yeah. Don't start believing. Wait, can we cuss on this?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Don't believe your own shit is what he says. Yeah. And that's when it goes down.
I love both parts of that. Yes. I think that it's true. I think that sometimes you look at today's generation and you're like, soft.
Oh gosh,
soft.
Yes.
Come on, step
everyone
it up.
is so easily offended.
Since 1987, GTS Customs has specialized in restomod Corvettes. From widened bodies to pro touring vehicles with all today's modern technology. If you've got a Corvette, an old Corvette, and you want to make it drive like something new, contact gtscustoms.com.
Baja Forged, signature vehicle builds and off-road products built to forge your own path. Baja Forged was basically made because we loved off-roading. We loved the open roads. If you're looking for off-road products to help you get out on the terrain, visit bajaforged.com. Follow us on Instagram at Baja Forged for our latest builds. It's a different, and it's funny because you've seen that probably over, like you said, your dad's a certain way, and then you're a certain way, and then the next generation's a certain way. So it's kind of funny how that all comes back around, and then it changes again.
Yes, and I feel myself overcompensating, trying to make sure that I'm balancing the two, like how I was raised to do things, and then how I'm trying to make it it's fun.
Because you're looking at an individual and you're thinking, okay, are they worth the effort of putting in and the training? And you don't want to miss out on somebody who might be really great.
Totally. It's such a hard balance. And I for the event side of things, we have event staff. And so a lot of it's really just heavy lifting. And it's not even that heavy, but it's a lot of manual labor. And I'm getting these young kids that most of them, I'm their first job, which is awesome. A lot of them are really
like that.
great.
You had a lot of high school students because like for the Women's Motor Fest, like when they were coming to help and stuff. But I will have to say a lot of them have great manners.
Yes.
I was like, that was fantastic. And I was like, this is where I go to school, ma'am. I was like, whoa, don't call me ma'am.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Let's not be too polite now.
Yeah, right. Whoa, dial it down. Yeah, we have a lot of young kids that come in and most of them are just obsessed with cars. They just want to be near cars. And so for me, it's like, okay, great. You're already a step in the right direction because I don't have to worry about your etiquette with vehicles.
Sure.
And so I know that you understand them, you want to be here, and I get to give them opportunities to see incredible cars. Like we have like supercar events and stuff because all the young kids want the carbon fiber. They want supercar and hypercars. They don't want any classics. I do, but
not all the young kids everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, give me a classic. I like that. But that's kind of how things are now. And so I try to, give them opportunities to be able to see stuff like that and to be a part of it. And so for them, they love it. Love being here. But it is difficult sometimes because these are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids and they've never had a job before. Some of them are the most insanely hard workers I've ever met in my life. Yeah. And then some are like, this is kind of, my dad told me how to get a job. And I'm like,
right.
Cool, man. Cool.
Great. So you're supposed to listen to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just go move that stack of chairs or something. So I try.
Here's a broom.
Yeah. Here's a broom.
Please don't make it so I have to teach you how to use it.
Yeah. It's kind of like that sometimes. Oh, yes, but there's one kid that worked here forever. And he started at 15 and, worked at a grocery store. He worked here on and off because it's very part-time and that's also difficult too. Yeah. It's not like a regular part-time. It's as needed when we have events. Sometimes we'll have 4 in a week. Sometimes we'll have 5. Sometimes we'll have nothing. So to be able to call on someone, you're having to kind of juggle that and like who can. But this one kid, Ernesto, he's fabulous. He doesn't work with us anymore unless I really need him.
I was going to say shout out to Ernesto.
Shout out to Ernesto. He's in management and in and out, if that gives you any inclination of who he is as a person. Yeah. So he's fantastic. And so when there's like a really big event and I really I'm like, please please come help me. Can you just take the night off? Like, can you help me whip these kids into shape, you know? But he's just go all the time. Like when he has to stand around and wait for things to happen, he's just like jittery. He's like, I just want to clean up, do the thing. I want to do a job. He's a doer.
Yeah.
So trying to find self-starters and stuff is sometimes hard to do. Yeah.
That's funny. You probably never thought you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I think
You're like, this is what I do now. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. My life has become emails and training 16-year-old kids, 6-year-old boys, which I don't mind. It's fun. It's fun. It gives me an insight into, sometimes when they're speaking, I don't even know what they're saying because the language is now so
generation.
different.
Yeah.
And so I think about, you know, when my parents talked to me when I was young, I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
And now I look at them like, say bet one more time. Like, I don't just, oh my gosh. Use your words.
Now I need to know, how do they use bet in a sentence?
I can't even.
You can't even.
So when you're like, hey, you tell them something, and they like agree with you, instead of saying like, yeah, that's awesome, or like, okay, cool, right? They're like, bet. I'm like, what?
Have you heard that?
You don't even need to.
What is that?
That's all I know.
Bet.
That's all I know. That's
Bet.
the only thing
Bet
I can
what?
retain.
What are we
that's
betting?
What I mean. That's what I mean. Oh my God.
That's when you kind of have to raise your
I feel
eyebrow
like
and look
this
at them
is
like
a whole
that
nother
they're totally
episode
crazy.
to go into that.
But yeah, the young kid lingo is difficult for me. So we're I'm like,
no,
That's where we're
get
going.
it. I get it because I've had kids where I'm like, I forgot, but it was like, oh, we're gonna use a shovel today, and I needed to do some things outside, and they're like, what's a shovel? I'm like, oh my gosh! I'm like, you're kidding, right? And they're like, no, I've never used a shovel.
Oh
and I
my
was like,
gosh.
but this is a thing.
Yeah.
And that really is part of that generation. They just haven't
I
been
blame the
outside to do
parents.
things.
Well,
Well, no,
yeah.
but totally. But that's just,
I was being cheeky.
We're
was
different
I?
in that way.
Yes.
Obviously, like how we were raised and
For
things like
sure.
that. We're around the cars. We're,
Yeah.
dirt bike
Around
riding.
shovels.
Yes.
Around shovels.
Well, I think one of the biggest
we
ones
were
I
working
found,
in the yard all the time, whatever
Right.
it was. Yeah.
Well,
rake.
it's not even like it wasn't. It's
hoe.
not even like that much younger than me. A hose, finding the hose. Yeah,
I had to bring it in. Sorry.
There you go. Oh
That was
man,
perfect, Theresa.
When I was
No,
in
but-
college, this kid was only like 3 years younger than me, but it was like a lifetime. And we're in a marketing class. And I'm like, yeah, well, John Deere really like did as the example of like. You see those colors, you know immediately that that's John Deere and like what they do and like all that stuff. And the kid straight up said to me, he's like, well, I don't know what that is. Who's John Deere?
Yeah.
I'm like, like the tractors, like the
Yeah.
yellow and the green.
And they're
Follow
like
with,
tractors.
what's a tractor?
Yeah, exactly.
You know the things that they use to feed you. Oh my gosh. And he was only like I said, he's only like 3 years younger than me. I'm like, this feels like a lifetime. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. But it's just, I mean, someone that grows up in the city
Yes.
or something, and then where we grow up, or it is different.
Yeah,
It really
when you're
is.
not on
I
like
mean,
property or you have to do
there's
manual
not
labor.
a ton of us
different.
women too that are like this
right.
either, which we forget.
Yeah.
But we're just immersed in the culture of
Absolutely.
this is just normal to us, you know.
sure.
So
Well, I think that just is our call to action then, to make certain that we include as many women in this type of forum, right?
which we all do,
Yeah,
which
yes.
that is part of all of our
That is our-
missions.
that is the big call to
Constantly.
action.
I meet something new. I'm like, oh, come to the club. Join
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Join us.
Well,
Right.
like when we came here, I mean, we're doing our workshops and stuff. We were
Yes.
teaching welding and pinstriping. Oh my God, the pinstriping class, just like people had so much fun. It was insane
It was cool. I finally
how
got
busy
to
it
do
was.
It was really, it was
Yeah.
neat. I mean,
Yeah.
she's
I remember
she's
when you
awesome.
trained me.
And then she was
I'm
already
like-
teaching other people too. And
Yeah,
that's
that
what
was
I
it.
love.
Yeah.
That's
That's
so
like
cool.
the best
I'm
part.
like, I
Because I
paid
like walk away
attention.
and they're like, she's like, I got this. Like someone
It's
else
fine.
question.
Yeah.
It's so great
love
when
that.
other people like just do that right away.
Yeah,
And I'm
or like pick up on a skill. They're like,
Perfect.
oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could not do it. The pinstriping was not me. Yeah.
But it's all in the technique and
Yes.
showing in
And the
the way
teaching
she's
and-
teaching that
Absolutely.
and making an opportunity. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm paying attention. Of course, I was born in a different generation than
For
your-
sure.
And you
your
know, we're not going
college-
to pick up everything, but
Right.
the idea is that to just get out there and try new things.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's really what we're all out there about, you know?
Yeah.
Is like you never know what you're going to get excited about until you try it.
Definitely.
So-
We do every year we do there's a car care badge for Girl Scouts now, and there was
Yes,
not when I was
know.
a kid. So
no,
cool.
there is. It's newer.
Yeah,
It is
and
newer.
that was not a thing when I was a Girl Scout. But one of our favorite ladies, Cindy Brenneman, she's every car show. She's somehow like there doing things behind the scenes. She's
Is she
so
from
involved.
San Dimas, isn't she?
No,
where's
she's
she
here in
from?
Costa Mesa, but she like all like
like
Cruising
that
for a
name
Cure
and
like
Okay,
all of
that's
the
where
old
I've
school
heard her
car
name.
shows.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's everywhere doing stuff all the time, just
Okay.
for free, just to be
Yeah.
you know
Just to be a part of
just
it.
to be
Yeah.
amazing. She's fantastic. So she supported everything that we've done. And she brings me every year a group of girls that want to get that badge.
Awesome.
And so we open up the race shop. Vince and my dad and I kind of do the basics of car care maintenance and stuff. And because some girls like the automotive, but they don't know where they fit in.
Sure.
So they may not be wrenching. They may be marketing or whatever
Right.
that looks like. So it allows us
Exactly.
to spend time with them. And then they go to Cruising for a Cure. And then they help in the Women in Wheels section with all the women-driven cars. And,
Love it.
And they get to learn about stuff, see classics. It's super cool. And so now it gives us the opportunity. Now I get to meet these girls. I'm like, hey, if they're strong enough to say, hey, I really want to do this, can you help me out? It's like, okay, great. Let me introduce you to the people that I know. And it's because right now, I mean, as much as, I hate to say it's not what you know, it's who you know, but the connections are really
It's
important.
true.
Yes.
That's
Especially
in life.
females in the automotive
anything
industry.
you do.
Yeah. So it's a really cool experience. And these are like 15, 16-year-old girls. And, it's funny. My dad and I will banter because I put myself back at 16 years old when he was trying to tell me, listen for things going wrong with your car. Do not turn up your volume and hope they'll go away.
They will not heal themselves.
They will not heal
God,
themselves.
that was great.
Yeah,
Don't
so
turn up the
it's
volume.
fun. It's fun to get to do it and get to experience that again with some of these younger generation.
I love
Right.
that.
You're like, oh, now I have to use the same things that he told me.
I'm like, I am my father.
Right. But you think about it, it's funny because I know that with growing up and then being a parent and wondering what sticks with your kids.
Yeah.
And then not underestimating the power of repetition, right?
Oh, tell me about it. That stuff is in there deep. It just lives in there. And it comes out of nowhere and you're like,
That was him.
oh my God, I'm my mother. I'm my father. Like, oh wow. Just call me Little John Marconi.
You said it.
I know. Everyone's thinking it's
so
fine.
My nickname is Little Louie too.
Oh my
so
God.
yes, it was always totally.
One of my girlfriends like
Totally.
I
I
did
was
something
like,
about the
oh.
track, and she's like, "It's giving John Jr." And I'm like, "Oh God, shut up!"
But that's not bad. We've
It's
met
not
your
bad.
father.
No,
he's pretty fantastic.
He's a
so,
doll. Has a big heart.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
So tell us a little bit about that legacy, like what your dad, like what he started doing, and your grandfather also a little bit.
So my dad started racing like mini bikes and stuff when he was young. Like he always kind of had the gift and definitely had a need for speed for a long time. And so he kind of worked his way up and they got into racing and they was go-karting and stuff like that. And he was really good. And so when they went into nutritional manufacturing, they were one of the biggest in the world, and that's why you'll see some of like Herbalife on some of our cars and sponsorship and stuff. Because Herbalife was just one of their many clients that they did products for. And so that was what funded the racing because they were privately, there's sponsorship,
Yeah.
but you have to have a lot of
a
lot of funding.
You have to have twice as much money, right, in the racing where
you start with a big portion so you can make a small one. Yeah, exactly. And so they were doing it for fun, they weren't doing it for money. Not that you do it for money, but not that you make any of that.
Bragging
Not
rights.
really.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah. So he was, he was really good. And then, like I said, the businesses took off and it just was they did not have enough time. He couldn't do both. And then he also had 3 kids at that time, 3 of us. And, he talked to my mom and he's like, it's about me all the time. It's not about the kids. And so I think it's time to hang it up. And, I'm also putting my life in jeopardy,
Right.
I'm a good driver, but other people are also, the 1 or 2 times he's gotten put in the wall was because somebody else put him there.
Yeah.
So
It's not,
so it's
not his driving.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of race car drivers that ended in a really horrible way and left their families, and it sucks. It's an amazing career and it's so fun to be a part of it and to watch and be able to do that, but it also takes a toll. Things happen. So they hung it up, but we still go to the track together. We have built this Corvette behind me, the
Nice.
red one, to go to the track together.
I like it that it's sitting right
there. And then my
This
little
one,
Bondurant
just this
Corvette
one.
next to it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got to go to Bondurant driving school before Bob
Rad.
passed. It was fun.
That's when I saw you.
Yes, when we were
at
at Willow.
Springs. Yeah. He was racing around.
Oh, yeah. And then my grandpa, into the racing, my dad actually got my grandpa into it. So my grandpa was way later in his, I think he was in his 60s when he started. So
I
Interesting.
love
yeah.
that.
So he was one of the, I
love
think he's
that.
the oldest guy to race the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Oh, wow.
For
Oh,
OCCA,
man.
yeah. So
That's
yeah,
so cool.
it was cool. So he actually really was a good driver. He kind of had the gift a little bit. So, but the
Yes.
problem was he's been blind in his left eye since he was 12. It was a accident and it kind of things blew up in his face. So, he was a boxer. He was he wore
Wow.
golden gloves. And most of the stuff they found someone to falsify his paperwork so that he could race because obviously you cannot be blind in one eye and be
That's
racing.
what I want. Yeah, right.
Boxing, racing,
We
did a
can
lot
talk
of
about
things
it
he wasn't
now, huh?
supposed to be. Yeah, we can talk about it now. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
He's passed. It's okay. It's okay.
gosh.
But so there was a lot of stuff they did to get him in racing. And my dad would modify his car so he would only have to look in one mirror to see both sides or just wherever,
Sure.
whatever he needed
Yeah.
That's
to be able to
awesome.
race.
Yeah.
Because there was always a joke do not pass Dick on the left side. He will run you
Sure.
off the road. He has no idea you're there.
Yeah.
So he raced a little while and he was really good,
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of the reverse. My dad got him into racing and
That's super special.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a picture I have. It's really blurry, but it's a really special moment. It was the Formula Atlantic Winter Series, and my dad and my grandfather placed. My dad placed first, and my grandpa placed second. So they were spraying each other with champagne, and it was the best
that's
moment of his
so
life, his racing
cool.
career. Yeah, it was super
Oh, I love that.
yeah, it's a good one. So they did that together, and then businesses were that they took a back seat, and they were able to accumulate
Sure.
all this and
Yeah.
and turn this into what it is today. So
Yeah.
given to sell jobs.
And but you look at that, and oftentimes when people have a collection like this, we don't get to see it.
Yeah.
They don't have
Oh,
it
sure,
on
it's not open to the
display
public. Yeah,
for anyone.
Yeah, and that's
To see.
That's what
Yeah.
we try to do. Why we bring the community in here because it's meant to be shared with people.
I totally
of the
agree.
collection runs. We
Yeah.
drive them all over the place. We take them
Yes.
to Cars and Coffees, local.
Dice
It's
pit,
a little ant. It was
little thing.
a little something. But we take them to local Cars and Coffees and car shows and charity events because some people have never seen a Ferrari F40 out in
Right.
public or an
Yeah.
F50
Right.
or them together with by the same people.
Yes.
It's so cool to see. We have the Sultan of Brunei Ferraris. There's people that come
Yes.
from all over the world just to see those two cars.
Wow.
It's wild to me. I get people from everywhere come to
cool.
visit, and it's such a little collection. But we try to have really important, special, one-of-one, unique vehicles in here.
Yeah.
And some of it's just because it's like a snapshot of my dad and my grandfather's life. It's whatever they liked at the time.
Sure, of
So
course.
it's like you have a Lamborghini tractor. It doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason in
Right.
here. And then people donate too. They're really generous donors, and
Yeah.
the T-Bird that's in here, and there's a lot of really beautiful cars in there, and they've been donated by people that, want their car. They have an emotional connection to it.
Yeah.
They want it to live
They,
on.
they want their
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
to live on. This burgundy Mustang in the back. That was this gentleman that donated. It was his first car he ever bought.
Aw.
He had that entire time. And
Wow.
so now his legacy gets to live on.
Sure.
And
Right.
we take care of the car, borderline better than they would be able to.
Yeah.
Right.
And they get to come see it again, so I love that part.
I
It's my
love that.
favorite.
As you pointed to the burgundy Mustang,
Yes.
I just
Oh,
want to
the-
call our attention to all of these
The trophies
championship
and stuff.
trophies and
Yeah.
cups and
That's a little bit of,
That's
what's,
spectacular.
I'm still working on making, full set, more cases. My fiance is a welder, so he welded all the cases for us and we got the tops and stuff.
That's
So,
awesome.
but we do need more. There's oddly enough, there's more. So
That's what your dad was
Yeah,
saying. He's
it's a
all,
little
this
bit
is
of it.
maybe a quarter of it.
Yeah.
it's all packed away. So I'm trying to bring it out
Right.
and share with people and
Yeah,
stuff.
that-
But what a
Stuff is
great way to
exciting.
do it like that. Everything's on wheels in here. It can be moved around
Has to
easily.
be,
Yeah.
yes.
It's,
'cause
I
for
love that.
events,
That's how
everything's
we
gotta
are
be
too.
convertible.
Yeah.
It makes it easier because then you move things around and you can
Yeah.
adapt to whatever the need is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
No, they're great. I love
Thank
those
you.
parts.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
What's next on the agenda for you? I know that the room is set. You've got an event coming up.
Yes.
What do you do for self-care? When are you going to be like?
Well,
I did. I went to I went to it. We have a cabin, and I ran away.
She didn't tell them.
Yeah, I didn't tell them.
She told us.
We have a little cabin, and so we run away sometimes, like the weekends, and just try to
Good.
But all the
Do you put your phone away?
I do. I just leave it.
Oh, good.
I
Awesome.
left it at the cabin. Half the time we went out to get coffee or breakfast. I'm like,
Good.
oh, where's my phone? Ugh, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
nice to
good
shut.
feeling.
And that it's rare that we get to do that, but when I do, I'm like, okay, shut it off.
Right.
But, the typical. Get your nails done sometimes. Get a facial massage.
Yep.
You got to
Right
sneak
on.
it in there where you can.
Yep.
And are you ever going to race?
Probably not.
Okay.
I probably not. As much as I got to go to driving school, and I got to drive with Bob. Bob took me for a hot
Okay.
lap, which was
That's pretty
incredible. It was
cool.
amazing. And I'm really pretty close with Pat, his wife, and it was an incredible experience, and I loved it. And the need for speed is definitely in there.
Okay.
But I just want to get out and drive. And I just want to be in the car. Like I'm always, if I'm stressed, let's go drive. That kind of thing. I love being on the track. I love getting to have my dad as my instructor. He's actually an excellent teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
Driving stick was different. My mom, he taught me the basics, but my mom was the calm. She finessed it for
Got
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I
Okay.
don't know why you're not getting this. And I'm like, I'm not Vince. Vince just like got it in the car, and it was like
And took off, and
came out of
His
the womb knowing how
DNA.
to drive manual. It was crazy. Anything he got in there, I was like, okay,
I love
that's
that.
not me.
I love that.
So my mom is the calm one. But I did go karting, when I was young and stuff.
Awesome.
But I just I enjoy it, but in doses. It's a lot of fun, and again, like I said, it's a privilege to have your dad.
Yes.
A retired race car driver
Sure.
as an instructor.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's done thousands of laps. He still holds track records at Willow.
Awesome.
So it's a lot of fun to do it, but again, small doses. There's so much going on here. I hope that one day I can step back and then when I have kids, we can kind of bring them into that and get them into
and
carts
see
and
what
stuff.
they
I
do.
loved go-karting. If I probably wouldn't go back to regular cars. I loved karting. That was so fun. It
Nice.
was so much
That's
fun. I
amazing.
loved
Nice.
it.
They go, heck, they go so fast. They're so much fun.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
so much fun. Really well, you can control it. I'm
Yeah.
small. I like the small things. You get it.
Yeah.
Well, your car is rather large and tall. That's
He's
different.
like, well,
I like
okay.
driving large vehicles, but I like racing smaller ones.
I love that. That begs the question, though, that we always like to ask our guests. You said something about you love driving. What car and where would you drive it?
Like, what's the
What's the-
ultimate?
the car?
What's the car?
So, everyone asks me this, and everyone's like, "Oh, really?"
That's a build up to a letdown.
So I love classics. I love trucks. So 71 or 72 Chevy short bed truck is what
Cool.
I want, like kind of C10 kind of,
Okay.
or
So why are
or
you
the
building
Suburban.
it now?
She's
Nonprofits
the
don't pay
CEO.
very much. There's not enough time in the day, but that was a dream of mine to be able to
So not
restore
anything
one with my dad.
fast or anything. Just
Something
just
loud
a cool,
that
okay.
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like my mom's 71, the 340 Cuda, the sassy
Oh
grass
gosh,
green
that
one.
thing's so
It's my
good.
favorite car to drive.
Yep.
If I didn't do
And
if I
is
ended up
it
doing a
loud?
truck,
I
it
didn't
is
hear-
loud.
I
It
didn't
sounds
hear it.
great.
I
It's a
bet it
muscle
is.
car.
I
It sounds
bet.
wonderful. Do they handle great? Not really. Are they super fast? No. But they are so bitchin'.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I drive that as much as I
Those
can.
are cars you drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't
It's
get in a
full
car anymore and you're
experience.
like, it's like
Yeah.
quiet outside. There's
Oh.
nothing, and it's
Isn't that what an electric
yeah,
car
yeah,
does?
I know, and it's it's so different. The experience
Yeah.
is completely different.
That's what I feel like younger generation doesn't understand.
Yeah,
It's like
they're
when you get in
missing
that
that.
car, it's a full sensory
It is.
experience.
Yes.
You cannot be
It
on your
is.
phone.
No.
You know,
I
you
know,
can't-
right?
you're-
There'll be no
both
shifting
hands are on
with
the
no.
wheel, or at least out the window.
Yeah, and you're not listening to the radio. You're listening to the car. It's so loud anyway. You wouldn't
listening
really
to
hear
the side
anything.
pipes, baby.
Yeah, it is a complete the smell, the feel, everything, the sound, all of it. So, but if I would probably, I love Cudas. I love a big chunky boxy body style.
Love that.
Yeah, but
Me
I do.
too,
I
yeah.
love.
Love
I'm
the
leaning
70s
towards
and
the
things, yeah, totally.
I'm leaning towards the Suburban, the
Yeah.
Chevy Suburban.
Oh, heck
So I was
yeah.
like, man, if I have kids, I gotta
Yeah.
expand. I want to take the little grunions with me. So So,
love that.
they're so cool. They're like, I love a big, chunky, like Tonka truck.
Dude,
looking
70s
thing.
were all about wagons and things like that.
I love
like
wagons. I love them.
Oh, yeah.
I love all the wagons.
Me too.
And now in this car, anywhere in the world, where are you going?
Oh man.
It can be here too.
What's the drive that you love to do? You said you love to get out and drive.
Honestly,
so.
I'd probably, if I was taking, I'd probably take it up to Idlewild. It's a great
Nice.
little
Oh, it
windy
is.
road. It's not too long.
That back road coming in from
Banning?
Heaven into
Yeah.
all of the
That one's crazy. And the front's cool too. Like there's
they've redid it in the last few years. It's a great freaking road.
wow.
Yes. I mean, you see guys like on their motorcycles. Everyone goes up there for
I know
with the
exactly
weekend,
what
they come
road you're
down.
talking about.
Yeah,
That's funny.
what
I
that's probably
totally
what I would
forgot
do.
about that. Oh, it's great.
Windows down. Just
It is great.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's
I like
your
It is
self-care.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
right?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I like, I love the beach and I love tropical stuff, but I love the wilderness. I like
Yes.
mountain biking. It's my
Yes.
favorite things. That's
cool.
what my fiance and I do together. And
So the bikes you got into
Yes.
mountain biking from
Holy
the bikes, the
crap,
bike shop.
the climbing is insane out there. So much climbing, and I'm like, this is why people get e-bikes.
True.
It's a lot of cardio.
Seriously.
But it's so much fun. I mean, that's the kind of stuff like you don't need therapy when you can climb something where every fiber of your being is trying
Exploding.
to breathe and just stay pedaling and stay upright. You can't think of anything else. It just washes it all away.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
so-
we're all programmed to just have, 100 different thoughts going
all
on
the
at
time.
the same time.
Constant dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, don't have to do that when you're mountain biking because you're
Yeah.
just trying to stay alive.
I love that. You're just, that's
And you
how I
can't
feel
do it on the
about
downhill
racing,
either.
Too. That's
No,
like
Yeah, you gotta
racing.
pay attention.
attention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like off-roading and
Yeah.
racing too.
Yes.
You were,
Yep.
There's no room for daydreaming. One
Nope.
time I was when I was in the car,
Nope.
my dad was like, "Where are you right now?" And I'm like, "I'm on turn 6. I'm sorry." I don't know
You're
where
like,
I am.
what the heck
He's like, "You're
happened?"
getting lost here." And I'm like, "You're right. I am. I'm not." So
That
much
was good.
track. Like,
That was good.
I love that.
oh man, it's a good time.
So how do people find you?
So we are on Instagram. Most of our stuff, like our first home base for social media is Instagram. Everything goes out there
Okay.
first. Obviously we have Facebook and our website has all of our fun events and stuff that's coming up on
Yeah.
it. At marconimuseum.org.
I love that.
Yeah, and so we find all of our toy drive stuff and donation
Yes.
options and all that kind of thing. And then also all the events. So we have pictures of all kinds of events that we host. I mean, if you can think of it, we'll host it.
And the female event that you do here, that's yours.
Yes,
What-
so
what-
we usually do Heels and Wheels,
Yep.
and that's
And
usually
that one's-
October.
yep, and that one's
for breast
yours,
cancer
okay.
awareness. Yeah, and so we've done it 3 years in a row. Unfortunately, we kind of overbooked us for October for private events because unfortunately those are the ones that make money.
Totally
So-
get
Keep the
that.
lights on.
Yeah, and then you're always trying to balance with the car events. You're trying to balance like
Right.
you don't want to, and especially with the female car community because
Right.
it's a little bit smaller. And
Yep.
so there's a Porsche event. Everyone's over there.
Yep,
Right.
we already know
and
that.
all the ladies are so trying to
Yeah.
get them all together
Yeah.
is difficult. So
Yeah.
next year we'll be back. We'll do
Awesome.
Heels and Wheels again.
Awesome.
But then we have your toy drive coming up.
Yes, yeah. So November
The annual-
17th, we got
okay.
the annual toy drive. So it's gonna be,
And that's open to everyone.
Open to everyone. It's
Yeah.
free admission with a toy.
There you
It just
go.
has to be in its original packaging. And
Love it.
There's gonna be, we have a face painter coming. We're gonna do, we have an incredible coffee vendor, Rise Espresso. They have this super cute 70s like vintage trailer.
Rad.
Oh,
Love
it's
that.
adorable. And
Rad.
their coffee is amazing. So we're
Nice.
having that, and then we're just trying to make it a family fun like activity kind
That's
of, so
awesome.
everybody can enjoy something.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
Perfect.
I'm so excided that we're here in our new
Yes.
location. We're so
I know.
excited
I'm so
to
excited to
be
have
here
you
with
guys.
you.
Finally,
I
we
know.
finally
Yes.
made this happen.
Yes.
What is that,
We've
like 2 years in the
I know.
making?
We've been
Yeah.
talking
Well, we came
about
to
it.
you.
Yeah, right? I know. I know.
Here we are.
I'm
We'll
so
just
happy
bring
to
it
have
to
you
you.
guys because we
Good.
had such
we're
a good
so
time
good.
at the first,
Yes.
Women's Motor Fest. I'm like,
Definitely.
man, they are so cool. I just enjoy having you guys.
I
Just
like that.
Spitfire.
Well, that
personality.
deserves a high five.
Yeah.
Woo! Get it, girl.
Loved
We have
having
to
you
do it.
on.
High
This
five.
is awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of the information regarding the Marconi Automotive Museum and the toy drive and everything else you'll find in our comments below. And
Make sure you follow High Octane Hustle Official on Instagram and highoctanehustle.com and High Octane Hustle on Facebook.
be sure to hit like
and subscribe.
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Fastlane Jane.
And I'm Design Muse. And this was
Monique Marconi.
Until next time.